Hi, welcome to another edition of Ballarat Real Estate TV. I'm Allister Morrison and I'm joined with me today by Dominic. How are you, Dominic?
Good, Allister. Great to be here right in the middle of spring, coming up towards Christmas now. I think we've got to stop doing 60-day settlements. It's only about 30-day settlements from now, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, the opportunities to settle before Christmas is becoming smaller and smaller. But I tell you what, Dominic, what is becoming really clear is how independent these days the Ballarat market is from the Melbourne market.
Correct. So we're hearing all this bad press about Melbourne and Sydney prices, which is probably a bit of an overreaction in itself. But Ballarat powers on, and we are very separate from what's happening in Melbourne and Sydney.
Yeah, probably back in the day, everyone sort of had the impression, the feeling that what happened in Melbourne would funnel down or trickle down to what happens in Ballarat. So if the market's doing well in Melbourne, the market does well in Ballarat, and vice versa. But what we've really seen over the last 3 or 4 years is how separate the Ballarat market has become, separate from Melbourne, separate what happens from a national perspective. So even though things might be either up or down in other areas, Ballarat really runs on its own steam these days. And there seems to be so much happening independently. When you look at what's happening with the influx of people coming for the Gov Hub, the investment influx of buyers looking for investment property, the general growth in the population, all these things seem to be feeding into what is an unbelievably strong market.
And it's only the beginning of what we're going to see in Ballarat over the next 2, 4, 10 years. So it's going to increase a lot prices, and you've touched on it there with the Gov Hub. So that's 500 jobs, 500 Melbourne buyers coming to Ballarat, and they're going to be looking everywhere. They're going to have different needs. There's going to be people that want to be able to walk to work just up the road here in
families, singles, couples, all sorts of different groups of people.
So we've started to see a few of them, and that's given us a little bit of an increase in prices over the past year, but it's only the start. So when people say, is this going to affect our house price? What's happening in Melbourne and Sydney? Well, the answer is no, because Ballarat is a bit of its own market.
Very much so, very much so. And you only have to have seen the sales results recently reported. Great prices. We're still having sales meetings where we're, staggering results that some of the team are getting for properties. And I think it's only going to continue forward as supply runs out towards the end of the year. So I always find that at the end of the year, Dominic, and the start of the new year, fantastic times to sell because there's just less stock on the market. So there's still a lot of buyers, and a lot of buyers making decisions around this time of the year, and also at the start of the year, but less to choose from. So if you really want to maximise price, probably coming into November, December, January, awesome times to sell.
One of the key reasons that Ballarat's an attractive place for people to invest is that we're a university city. And of course at the end and the start of the year is when students will be moving to town. Parents might buy an investment for their kids to live in all the time. How often do we see that? So that's one of the reasons why Ballarat's always going to be strong. We've got a university, and that means that December, January is going to be a good time to sell.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the Reserve Bank announced during the Spring Racing Carnival on Melbourne Cup Day the interest rates are again on hold at record low levels of 1.5%. Feels like they've been 1.5% forever. And
all the economists that you listen to, I'm big on my podcast in the morning, Alistair, they're saying that there is no expectation that interest rates will go up in the foreseeable future. So they're quite emphatic that it's not going to happen for years. Well,
the Reserve Bank was reporting in the Australian this week how they're expecting 2 years of massive growth coming forward in the Australian economy. So they're going to be some good times ahead. While the Australian, the Ballarat market seems to be performing so well independently, why would Ballarat not be the destination to focus on? In fact, it was also reported recently that on realestate.com.au, the biggest real estate website in the country, that Ballarat as a destination ranked as the #1 search destination in the whole of the country. Right. And that's telling you something. Really telling you something.
And David hasn't stopped talking about it for the past 6 months, that one of his listings was actually the 3rd most viewed listing in the whole country. So a property in Ballarat, David's listing, a Ballarat real estate listing, was number 3 in 1 week for the whole of the country. So that gives you an idea of the audience that we can get you at Ballarat Real Estate.
Absolutely. And the audience is affected by many things, but I've got to tell you one thing, Dominic, that prices are affected by is how many buyers you can generate for a particular listing, how many buyers you can get. And the reality is the more properties that you sell, the more buyers that you are actually dealing with. And what I do like to point out to people, especially when we're talking to them about selling, is how many houses we sell. For every month this year, Ballarat Real Estate's outsold all of our competitors. We actually sell more houses in Ballarat than any other agency. And in the month of October, again, we sold 30 houses and our nearest competitor was only 22. We're selling more houses than every other agency in Ballarat, month in, month out. And all of that means is that we're actually dealing with more buyers. If we're dealing with more buyers, we can introduce more buyers to our vendors' properties and they just get better prices as a consequence.
That's right. So when you sell 30 properties in a month, usually you'll have between 2 and 4 people that misses out on those properties. So the next month, we've got, where's the maths going up? Hundreds of buyers that have missed out on properties with us, and we can help them find the next one. And they're the buyers you want because they're keen to purchase something, and they might pay a little bit extra for that one that they find next.
Absolutely. And digging down a little bit deeper into some of the great results we've been getting, David sold an absolutely beautiful townhouse in 1B Devon Street. I think he got such a great result that he's keeping it secret squirreled at this point in time, but it will come out eventually. Undisclosed. It must have been such a rip snorter that he got there at 1B Devon Street. But also, Dominic, you got a great price at 510 High Street. My kids go to the school nearby, and it is the talk of the school about the result, how fast you got it sold there.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days there. So that was on the market for $295 to $320. And we've sold it for top of the range, $320,000. Quick result, really happy vendors there.
And Damien got a great result at 12 Elaine Avenue, and you can tell he absolutely maximised the price there, as we are renowned of doing. He sold it for $446,200. I'm glad he got the last $200, but it just does demonstrate how we really do that. Push the negotiations to the end. David also got a great price at 15 The Gums. That was a funky house, wasn't it?
It was. And looking at the price that you've written down, $485,000.
Big one.
Huge result for Dave.
Yeah, big one. And 17 Laurie Drive in Alfred, another great result there for Jess Smith. She's a quite little achiever, isn't she? The sales that she's racking up. Yep. But she had a beautiful, not an overly big house, but a great price for $405,000 in Laurie Drive, Alfred. But we've got some great new stock coming on the market this weekend as well.
That's right. 4 Chesterfield Court for Karen. That's a great listing. 3-bedroom, 2-living area home in Soldiers Hill.
Soldiers Hill.
I think it comes in under $500,000 for a brick home in Soldiers Hill in a little quiet court.
You don't even have to put an ad over those properties. Just write Soldiers Hill, and then people come, don't they? Pretty much. Yeah. And 227 Norman Street is one of Damien's listings. That's a great
Hey.
No, your listings. Sorry, I was giving it away.
I'll tell you about that one. That's 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-living area, brick home in Ballarat North. It's got, I don't know whether you were there, I think you were there yesterday.
Beautiful views.
So it's an undercover entertaining area and looks right across Ballarat. You can see the lake. Fireworks are great when it's Australia Day and everything. So good one there, 227 Norman Street, Ballarat North.
16 Elegant Road in Winter Valley is Damien's one. That is Damien's listing.
Damien and Jess.
And Jess, she's also listed that one. They're doing a tag team effort in that one. But beautifully presented home, a good solid family home, really lovely kitchen actually in that property.
Yep.
And no doubt that'll go gangbusters on the weekend. And David's listed one at 39 Inkerman Street in Newington, which is also a massively popular spot. If you're not just riding Soldiers Hill, you're just riding Newington.
I took a couple of people through there last night, and it's Mickey Mouse. 2-bedroom brick veneer, good block, good access. If you want to, I think a couple of the people I showed through there are going to have a caravan in the backyard.
Close to the colleges, close to town, close to pretty much everything, isn't it?
Inkerman, it's a good street. Good street.
Great spot. So the market's growing really well, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great time in which to be in the marketplace. It's all happening as we're into the last 6 weeks, I think, of real estate proper as we know it. It's really fired right up. We're selling heaps of houses and prices are very buoyant. If you are thinking about doing something, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to get it on the market, because now is the time when you will capitalise on a great market, less stock on the market, and buyers wanting to make a decision.
They're in a rush. They might have sold their property in the hot springtime and they're still looking for something, and a lot of other people won't think of selling now because it's getting a little bit closer, isn't it? But there's still time, and you want to do it when other people aren't doing it. It's the way to go.
Yeah, that's the truth. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching another edition of Ballarat Real Estate TV, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next time.